Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping on my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping on my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more."
Good morning, dear listener. Welcome back for another week as we continue to delve into the darkest depths of our own minds. The path that lay before us is twisted and perilous, but we will follow in the footsteps of one man who bravely ventured into the depths ahead of us, showing us the way. Edgar Allan Poe paved the road that we now travel with stories and poems of what he learned on his own journeys into the dark. And now he beckons us further once more. Join me, Dr. Raven, as we venture back into our own dark and listen along to the telltale heart. True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. But why will you say that I'm mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in heaven and in earth. I hear many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken, and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you this whole story. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object there was none. Passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, and with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. And every night about midnight I turned the latch of his door and opened it. Oh, so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, so that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in, moved slowly, so very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening, so far that I could see him lay upon his bed. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this? And then, when my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously, so cautiously, for the hinges creaked. I did it just so much that a single ray fell upon the vulture eye. And this I did for 7 long nights, every night just at midnight. But I found the eye was closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning when day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he had passed the night. So, you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked upon him while he slept. Our story begins with a narrator who Poe wisely chooses to leave undefined. This leaves a path forward for us to insert ourselves into the mind of the narrator. They are us. We have become the narrator in the story. Why did we choose to take the life of the old man? What were the events that led us to this point? And most importantly, will we succeed, or will we be caught? Tune in tomorrow as we continue our reading of The Telltale Heart. Until then, quoth Dr. Raven, nevermore.